Why am I nervous? Has it been that long? Did I forget how to talk to myself? Okay, before we start, I want to show you guys my outfit because I'm kind of, like, proud of how this turned out. So, I bought this dress on Shein, which I know we hate Shein these days, guys, but I am genuinely living in poverty, so, like, cut me some slack. And it was the ugliest fucking dress I've ever seen in my life. Because, like, here, let me take off this belt. So this, first of all, comes way down here. Which is fine. Like, if you have, like, a more straight figure, that's going to look really flattering on you. Me, I don't feel like so much. Because I'm very blessed to have the big boobs and the big hips and the small waist, okay? I worked my ass off for that. It's also a little bit genetic, but very happy for that. So, and these little buttons went, like, farther down. And I just thought it looked so stupid. So I took these buttons off, and then I did like this little number. I flipped it upward so that the skirt part, instead of coming down to my hips, sits on my waist. And then to keep that in place, I added this fun little belt. You know, so I got the little belt on there. And then added this little chain thing, my bob. Just for like a little extra detail. But I don't know, I feel like that looks so much cuter. I have these tights, I have these socks. Ignore my Crocs, these are my in-the-house shoes. But you know what? If you ain't crocking, you ain't rocking. Am I right, ladies? Okay, let's do some fucking makeup. Woo! I am so hype right now. I'm not. I'm terrified. I'm going to start crying. Please don't like and subscribe. I was back and forth on how I wanted to do this because I am a yapper by trade. So I wanted this to be an actual tutorial to, you know, teach people something, because I've been around many years now, and I have a few things that I can learn. I have some wisdom to impart now that I will officially be 30 this year. I can say that. Whatever, we'll come back to that. So I wanted this to be an actual tutorial, but I feel like I can't leave the internet entirely for like 3 fucking years and then come back and be like, okay guys, here's the tutorial, step 1. Like, I need to sit here and like, we need to have a conversation. Like, girl, what the fuck is going on? I don't know. There's a lot of things I'm not going to address yet. Like, for one, you're all like, hey, I noticed you met a random man on Discord and then married him a year later. What happened to the other guy you spent the past decade with? That's none of your fucking business. Moving on. Let's do some makeup. But I just really wanted to sit here and, like, have an actual chat while I also show you how to do the thing. I also look like shit. I mean, obviously, I'm gonna look different without makeup on. No surprise there. But I look extra shitty because I have been sick as a dog the past, like, 3 or 4 days. I got some kind of stomach virus, and it was honestly the worst thing I've ever experienced in my life. Like, I would literally rather be cheated on. I would literally rather die in a fire. I was on the floor of my bathroom, covered in my own vomit, like it was fucking New Year's Eve in 2017. I was pleading with God to just take me already, but he refused, so here I am. But at least you get some content out of it, hey. I already started with, I have my contact lenses in. I feel like the contact lenses can really make or break a dolly makeup look. I do have naturally blue eyes, of course, if you already know what I look like. I have no problem with my eyes. I'd rather have brown eyes if I could, like, pick and choose, but here I am. I feel like if you do dolly makeup and you naturally have, like, dark brown eyes, that's so pretty. Like, you already have doll eyes. You don't even need contacts. But with my eyes, I feel like if I do this makeup and I don't have contact lenses in, I kinda... On other people, it looks cute, but then when I see myself, I kind of look like that picture of Miley Cyrus, and I'm not even going to put it on the screen because you already know what I'm talking about. I also apologize for the setup we got going on here, because it is different from before. I don't think it's particularly bad. I have no idea what the audio is going to be like until I'm playing this back in editing, so that's going to be fun. I did get a new phone. I used to film with my iPhone, because it was easy because I had my Mac back there and I could just airdrop it, and it was so much easier than having to like do literally anything else. My camera is an option, but she's like a million years old at this point, and you know, it's going to be filming in like fucking 160p. So I have this nice new Samsung flippy phone, and she's really cute, and I've been enjoying her a lot. Everyone says Samsung has a better camera. In theory, yeah, but if I gotta be honest, as much as I am pro Samsung for like literally everything else at this point, like I love the Android OS and like everything I've been able to do with my phone. It fits my personality a lot better, but I feel like when it comes to an iPhone camera, the images were just really high def and clear, whereas my Samsung phone takes better pictures, but it looks fucking AI generated. Like every selfie I take in that bathroom looks like it has a filter on it before I even put a filter on it. So it's very strange. So better, it's just different. Not everything has to be a competition. Can't you guys just fucking enjoy anything? Okay, starting off strong. I'm already moisturized. I still have the eyebrow stickers because I still have no eyebrows. I was drawing them on for like the past year, and I really like how that looks, but unfortunately, drawing on my eyebrows does add an extra 30 to 40 minutes to my makeup routine, and it already takes me like 2 fucking hours, so like, I had to make it easier on myself, so I went back to the eyebrow stickers. It's fine. As long as I come out of this looking like an anime character, I don't really give a shit. So here's my first life hack for you guys. Maybe use a better eye primer, because this one kind of sucks. But if you, like me, are a 29-year-old lady and your smile lines are your biggest insecurity, if you just slap some of this shit right there in that smile line, it makes a world of difference, and you will have so much less creasing there if you're using a full coverage foundation. If I use a light to medium coverage, or like use that same Korean BB cream I've been using for the past 10 years, I don't really have issues with this part of my face. But since I've been wearing the foundation I'm using today, it is a full coverage foundation, which is just going to be cakey and creasy no matter what you do. That's just what full coverage does. You're gonna have to get over it. But this minimizes that so much. So I've been putting the eye primer right in there. And it really helps, because the theory is that eye primer is made for your eyes. Like, this is the most delicate part of your skin. The skin there is super thin. You have a lot of folds and fine lines. And since this primer is developed to smooth out those lines there, I mean, think about what it's going to do for the rest of your face, you know? So I do it on my eyelids. I've been doing my under eye a little bit. Don't go too heavy-handed with it, or it will look weird and cakey. And then in my smile lines, and then sometimes in this little part next to my nose, because I hate when people do their foundation and they neglect this little crease. It makes me want to punch a hole through my screen. Listen to me being a hater after I just said let people enjoy things. Do your makeup however the fuck you want. Nothing's real, and we're all gonna die. I feel like I had so many things I wanted to talk about, and that's why I chose a like get ready with me versus just like a, you know, tutorial style video, like with the voiceover and all that. And now that I have the camera on, I got fuck all to say, so I really don't know. I'm going into this Jasmine Bean, what's called, it's literally on the thing, called Candy Cosmetics Jasmine Beans brand, whatever, palette that I've had for 184 years, which is approximately how long I've been alive. And I am going to start with a completely white base, and the only reason I am starting with a completely white base is because we are going to be using a white foundation today. And so you don't want your whole face to be white and then your eyelid skin to be flesh color. That'd look a little bit weird. We want the whole face to be fully whited out. Please don't clip that and use it out of context. I'm begging. I already have enough problems. So this has always been my go-to favorite style of makeup, and if you've been here for a while, you know that who I am as a person, I don't really enjoy labeling myself or putting myself in a box, and I know that sounds so, like, edgy and different, and I'm not like other girls, but it's really just because I like so many things. I cannot commit to one thing, except for my husband. I love experimenting with different fashions. I will be full trad goth one day, and then look like fucking Belle Delphine the next day. I really don't give a shit. It depends on my mood. Sometimes I feel like dressing super cutesy. Sometimes I like to go dark mode, as my dad calls it. And just honestly, whatever works. Now, a lot of my inspiration does come from various J fashions and things like that. So that's usually what I stick with. But I stopped doing this style of makeup for a while because within, like, the past 5 years, which the internet is starting to learn a thing or two, which is cool. But there was all that controversy. There still kind of is, but controversy about, like, doing your makeup a certain way and the whole, like, Asian fishing thing. And I would like to make it perfectly clear to all of you right now in this moment. Come here. Come closer to your Aunt Casey. Shut the fuck up. I am not trying to look like any particular race. I don't even want to look like a human being, okay? This makeup is meant to make you look like a porcelain doll crawled off of your granny's fucking shelf and then is staring at you at the end of your bed while you sleep. That is what we're going for. We do not want to look like a person, okay? Which I think that whole debacle is kind of quieted down. Of course, you're always going to have mostly the white knights of the internet coming in to tell you what you should and shouldn't do, as if other races and ethnicities and cultures can't speak up for themselves. Which personally I think is very insulting. Like, I feel like it's not my place to tell anybody anything as a white person because I'm a fucking white person, but I digress. But there's so many worse things out there now. Like, have you guys heard of the fucking, what's it called? The YMCA, the fucking Honda CRV, the fucking, what is it, RC, the subliminal messaging stuff, you know, where like a 12-year-old gets on TikTok and says, I want to be Asian, and then somebody links them a YouTube video to listen to while they sleep, and then they all get on this Discord server together and post their results, like, oh, look, my eyeball used to be so much more blue and now it's more brown. You know, it's a very specific form of mental illness. I'm not sure what's going on there, but I feel like no matter how you do your makeup, as long as you're not being that, you're probably fine. Nobody cares in real life. Fight for the things you're passionate about, educate yourself, appreciate, don't appropriate, but touch some grass every once in a while, I guess is the takeaway here. Okay, so before I go canceling myself once more after I just got back here, let's move on, shall we? So I got my white base going. I don't know what's happening here or like anywhere on my face, actually. I already moisturized and added sunscreen and all that good stuff. I don't know if I mentioned that. Probably doesn't matter. Okay, so I'm gonna use this little Hello Kitty palette that I got at CVS. It's honestly terrible. It's like the cheapest, chalkiest eyeshadow I've ever used in my life. But she's cute and she's Hello Kitty, so whatever. And I'm going to take literally whatever brush is within my reach. It is very dirty. I don't think I've washed any of my makeup brushes in a very long time. So just let this video, actually, instead of a tutorial of like what to do, this should be a tutorial of what not to do. And I'm going to start with, I'm going to go in with this guy right here in the corner. It's like very like a reddish, orangish, whatever the fuck. And I'm going to kind of slap it like in my crease and like mostly focused on the outside of my eye. Like most of my eye, but I'm not going too far in here. Does that make sense? I've never been fantastic at like eyeshadow looks. Like, I can do okay. I can blend well enough. I know color theory. I went to cosmetology school. I know a thing or two, but I was never that dedicated in my eyeshadow talents. I did the little cut crease stuff back in 2016, like everybody else. But, you know, I just never really cared that much. For the most part, I just slap a color on my eye and call it a day, because the main focus of my makeup is not my eyeshadow. The eyeshadow is literally just there to do its intended job, and that is to shadow my eyes. It's not really supposed to be breathtaking in any manner. So once that's done, I am going to go in with this like dark pink purpley thing. And I'm just going to use that to kind of deepen the outer corner of my eye with this same brush because, I don't know, it's convenient, it's here, it doesn't really matter. We're just having fun here, right? It looks cute in the mirror, whatever. And then I'm going to take, I'm going to go in with Princess right here because that's literally my name. I am just a 29-year-old teenage girl. And I'm going to slap that shit right here on my lid and like in the inner eyeball part. Oh my god, and I'm going to move my contact all over the place and look like a fucking lizard person, I guess. And there you have it. There is the eyeshadow look. Look how messy it is. It's fine. It's all gonna come together. This whole video is very much going to be trust the process. This video is also probably going to be like 10 years long, and I apologize for that, but also not really because I miss long-form content. I miss sitting there and putting on a YouTube video and just having it on in the background for like 2 hours and feeling like I actually have friends outside of my head. And short-form content is really rotting my brain. Like, I can physically feel that I have gotten dumber in the past like 5 years. And I think it's a problem, but we can talk about that later. I'm going to take this Wet n Wild eyeliner pencil and I'm going to tightline. And I'm going to say this once, not once, this is like the millionth time I've said that, but I'm going to say it one time for you in this video. When you tightline, you are not focusing on this upper waterline. Everybody thinks tightlining is this upper waterline. It can be part of it, but that's not what you want to focus on when tightlining. When tightlining, what you're actually doing is focusing on the space that is in between your eyelashes. That very intricate, delicate little space there in between each individual lash. So rather than smudging it on your inner waterline and blinking once and it's all the fucking way down here, you're trying to take this and just mush it into your eyelashes. Like actually into your lash line. Does that make sense? Good, because that's, I don't know how else to elaborate. So watch your Aunt Casey slowly. See that? See how I'm like smudging it into my lashes and it's not actually on that inner waterline there? Or upper waterline, whatever the fuck, you get what I'm saying? That's what we're going for, because look how big, I already touched that a little bit, but look how big of a difference that makes. See how it's like darker there than over here, and it kind of looks like I might actually have some eyelashes that aren't blonde as fuck. That's what we're going for there. Now at the end, I will go in and hit that upper waterline, but I'm going to wait till the rest of my makeup is done for that because it does have a tendency to travel and it's going to fuck everything up. And I am pretty good at fucking things up on my own. I don't need any help from a 99-cent eyeliner pencil, okay? Now we're done there. So here comes the start of the hard part. I have been gatekeeping this eyeliner, but it's my favorite. Please do not buy it all. Save some for me. Remember who told you about this. And save some, okay? It's on Amazon. It's like $6. I have always been an avid NYX Epic Ink eyeliner pen stan until I found this bitch. There's a brown one and a black one, and I have both. And I just kind of use whichever is more convenient at the time. So basically whichever one I can reach. And it looks like today we're going in with the black one. Ugh, that feels so good. Look how teeny tiny, what is on me? How teeny tiny thin that is. And then the other side is like this little double thing for like drawing on your eyelashes. I never use this side. I used to, but when I do the bottom eyelashes, I don't really make them look natural. They're like very cartoony and spiky. So I'm just going to go with this. And I am literally just going to get as close to my lash line as humanly possible. Like, I'm barely even drawing a line. I'm kind of just like, you know? Because I still haven't figured out if my eyes are hooded or deep set. I think they're just deep set. But I have, like, no eyelid. I used to use the, like, double eyelid tape and, like, the little fibers back in the day to, like, give myself a lot of lid space. And honestly, that was magical, and I never should have stopped doing it, but I was so scared that 12-year-olds on the internet were gonna call me out for Asian fishing, so I stopped doing that. I just want eyelids, okay? I just want eyelids. But we adapt. This is very hard to do, like, while I'm trying to show you guys, because my mirror is actually down here. Like, I need to be down here, but then all you get is my big-ass 5 head, and I don't think you want that. Okay. So I'm going to do this, and then I will come back and show you the next step. Okay, it's not that beautiful and perfect, but it really doesn't matter because it's going to get covered up by like fake eyelashes anyways. And I feel like I just follow the shape of my eye, and I feel like it just kind of naturally ends up a little bit thicker here on the outer corner, which is perfectly fine because that's what we're going to do anyways. So I just kind of let my hand do what it wants. Every part of this eyeliner portion of this tutorial, the only advice I can really give you is I can do it quickly and easily and really well because I've been doing this for like a decade now. So like I can just do it because I've done it. And if you are a beginner, it is going to be difficult and it's going to take a while for you to get the hang of it. And before you know it, you'll be able to do it as quickly and easily as you do like regular winged eyeliner or something. So once we have this basic line, this is really fucked up. Maybe you try to fix it a little bit. Oh god. Stop looking at my 5 head. They're different but the same, and I can't figure out why. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is this outer corner here. I'm just gonna pull this literally directly down. I'm not gonna go like, literally just very down, I guess. I don't know how else to word that. Just straight down. And then as for how far down, that's really up to you and like the look that you're going for. For me personally, I just kind of go based off of where my eye bags are, like the tear bag when I smile. So I'm gonna come down to like pretty much where that ends. So what is this, like a millimeter or something like that? I'm American. I have no idea what a millimeter is. I'm going to be so real with you. But that's like my best guess. And then I'm going to come do it on the other side. And it should be pretty easy to get it even if you're just literally going with the shape of your eye. My eyes are pretty almond shaped. So my goal here is to kind of extend them for more of a rounded effect so that it's like more cartoony. So that's why I'm going to drag it down instead of like, you know, going out with the shape of my eye or like any other direction. I'm sorry, I really can't like do this into the camera. But it's just drawing a line. Like you don't really need to see all that, right? And as I work, I do kind of like map it out. Like I'll come over here and see where this ends and kind of take my hand and move it back over here so that I know that they're ending in pretty much the same spot. Because it doesn't have to be perfect, but I'm gonna try, you know? And then I also like to go back in and like thicken it a little bit. So like the super thin pen makes it really good to like sketch it out, especially if you are not that great with liquid eyeliner. I feel like this is a great liquid eyeliner for beginners. You could also do this with eyeshadow and then trace back over it. You can do it with a pencil. You can do it with literally whatever you want. Your granny's ashes. I don't give a damn. Whatever works for you. Okay, I feel like that's pretty good. It still looks thicker on this eye. That's fine. Because we'll come back to it anyways. This is really just the start of the eyeliner. And like, this is basically our rough draft. My hands are getting shaky, so it's getting more difficult. Because my caffeine is kicking in. And I haven't had caffeine for several days. Nor like any solid food, so. Okay, that's it. That's pretty good. And that's what we got. Just this thick ass cartoony line. And this kind of, every time I do it, it comes out like slightly different. So like, it is what it is. You can also, I don't know why people are so scared to just like clean it up, but you don't have to get it perfect. You can draw a fuck ugly line and then just take some concealer and go back and like carve out the line you want. So like, don't be so intimidated. It's just makeup. It's gonna come off. It's really not that deep. Okay, now this is where it gets crazy trying to follow one of my tutorials because I don't do one thing on my face. Like, I bounce around based on what makes the most sense. So, like, I'm not going to put on mascara or anything because I'm going to be using a loose setting powder all over my face. And it's going to get messy and it's going to get in my eyelashes. So I want to leave the eyelashes alone until after the setting powder's on. And there's also, like, the work underneath my eyes I can't do until like all the foundation and stuff is laid. So that's why I bounce around so much. So this is going to be not the most cohesive tutorial, but like I said, trust the process and it's all going to come together at the end. We did the eye primer and the smile lines. I'm going to go in with this e.l.f. What's it called? Fucking Power Grip Pussy primer, and I'm just gonna use that on the rest of my face because it's supposed to be like tacky and like help the makeup stick, right? But I don't really know. I haven't really noticed it working any better than any other face primer I've used in my life. Honestly, my favorite thing to prime my face with is Aquaphor, especially if you have a problem with retaining moisture in your skin like I do. I love me some Aquaphor. I swear by it. I use it for absolutely everything. And that is how I became a 400-year-old vampire. So keep that in mind. So we're gonna let that sit for just a second while I get my concealer ready. I'm using the LA Colors, the white one, and I have like this little palette thing. I'm just gonna squeeze some of that out. I could use it directly from the tube. If I wanted to, because, you know, it's my face, but I feel like this, like, it's probably not sanitary to keep touching your face every day, because, like, you're not really going to clean this, so that's why I squeeze it out. But it's also ironic because I just talked about how I haven't washed my makeup brushes in so long. At least I'm trying to do something right, okay? Do as I say, not as I do. And we're gonna start with blah, 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 blah. And, like, I'm just gonna kind of go in and, like, almost spot conceal. I'm kind of just placing it in the areas where I just want to make sure I have the most coverage, or, like, the areas that I want more highlighted. There's really no rhyme or reason to this. I'm just kind of putting it. I feel like a 2015 sleeper agent. Like, I'm used to doing remember, like, the fucking caking on 14 layers of concealer and like all the highlight and contour and everything. It's kind of the same idea. Like, it's really just muscle memory at this point. There's no real reason for it. I mainly just need it under my eyes and like around here and the places where I want to put a little less foundation. I also do it like around my brows because it's just easier to get the concealer around there than it is to get the foundation. Because where they are, like, the little sticker things, like, you need to pretty much get the makeup in them, or else, like, I'm just gonna have, like, a ring of my own skin tone around the brow, and then the rest of my face is gonna be white, and that's gonna look weird. Okay, now that that's laid, we're gonna get it slayed with this Real Techniques concealer sponge thing, which I do like the size and the shape of this one. It is nice for getting these hard to reach areas. I'm not sure why it never dawned on me until recently to like use a pure white foundation for like a doll makeup look. I feel like that should have been obvious all along because it really makes a difference. Like, I actually, by the end of it, do look like a little porcelain doll, and it's very nice. I mean, I'm already quite pale, so I guess my regular foundation didn't make too much of a difference, but I think it's a noticeable difference. And I just like looking as fake as possible. I could never be one of those, like, clean girlies, you know? Like, I can't do the no makeup and the, you know, skincare only, laminated brows shit. I've wanted to. Like, I wish I could just, like, wake up in the morning and take out my heatless curls and be flawless in 5 minutes, but I just don't have it in me. I have to look like a fake-ass Barbie doll bitch. That's just all I've ever wanted for myself, and I am achieving that. And I've been doing it for quite some time. It's who I am, Mom. It's not a phase. I don't even have to tell you what foundation I'm using, because y'all already know. But I am going to mix it with the stuff, which is just the white mixing pigment, mainly to extend the life of the foundation, because this is the mixing pigment. God, I really can't talk. The mixing pigment is easier to find than the actual foundation. The actual foundation is like almost always sold out, thanks to all the TikTok alt girls. So I need the bottle to last a little bit longer, so I'll just mix it with the pigment. And it does make it a little bit whiter, because you can kind of see the difference between the pigment right there and the actual foundation. Like, the pigment is very, very white. It's like more fluorescent, I guess. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just gonna give it a little mix and just apply it with my concealer brush. Just kind of spread it around, you know, like paint. So that's all I'm doing every day is I'm just waking up and painting on my face. I also, you can see I have my plugs out right now. That was not a choice. I can still get it in this ear. I can't get it in this ear. This ear, I'm going to have to restretch it. Probably re-shrink back down to like a 7/16 at least. Because when I got sick, or while I was getting sick before the actual symptoms started to show, my ear started to freak out and it was acting like I had a blowout, even though my ears have been stretched to an inch for a decade and I have done nothing to like change my jewelry. I've always taken care of my ears, so there was no reason for it. It just said fuck you, and like my ear was all gross and painful for a minute, so I had to take them out, and now I can't get it back in. So like, what am I gonna do, wear one plug? Probably not. So I'm just whatever. So I have earrings and something. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm like, do I even bother to restretch it at this point? Like, what do I have to prove? Who am I trying to be edgy for? But all my plugs that I have now are like heart-shaped and they're really cute. And I've really been enjoying them. And I love how they look, so I probably will just have to restretch this ear. And I know that since my ears have been stretched for so long, it's going to be really easy. It's going to take literally days to get it back up to an inch. Like, it's not even a big deal. It's just the fact that I'm going to have to buy the jewelry and, like, actually do it. Like, it's so stupid. Like, girl, you're already an inch. What are you talking about? Why are you being so dramatic? Look how yellow my cheeks already look. I told you. That's the only thing I hate about the white foundation. It's like, you can see every cup of coffee I've ever drank in my entire life right now. It also is not very pretty. Like, most white foundations that I've seen are always gonna look a little weird and like cakey up close. There's no way you're gonna make this look like your skin, you know, but it's not meant to because it's pure fucking white. But yeah, just keep in mind that this full coverage foundations, anytime you do like a full beat, it's not gonna look great up close, but nobody needs to be getting that close to my face, so it doesn't really bother me. Like, I look good from a distance, and that is how God intended for people to admire me, is from a distance. Do not approach me. I am not as friendly as I look. So when you guys are watching these tutorials and stuff online, and you're going, oh wow, like their makeup looks so smooth and good and beautiful, and every time I do my makeup, I do all the same things, but mine looks like this. It's a beauty filter, girl. Their makeup looks just like yours, I promise. Makeup like this is intended for, like, photography, you know? Like, it's meant to look good in pictures. It's not necessarily meant to look good in real life, which I think mine looks pretty good in real life. It just looks a little, you know, if you're super close to my face, it's gonna look like makeup, and that's okay, because, like, what do I have to hide? Like, everybody knows I wear makeup. It's pretty fucking obvious. I was not born with pink eyelids. Well, kinda. My eyes get really red and puffy sometimes, so sometimes I do have pink eyelids, but that's a separate issue. You get what I'm saying. Very important step in this makeup is to make sure you cram it all the way into your bridge piercing, and then wake up in the morning wondering why it's infected. It's essential. I'm gonna pull it down a little bit into my neck, but, like, it's not really that big a deal. It's not like I'm not necessarily trying to get this to blend into my skin. It's supposed to look like a white face. Like, it's supposed to be giving Victorian in a way. This look would be great for Lolita, if you do Lolita, I think. This look is good for, I think, most, like, sort of mainstream J-fashion trends. Like, you could follow this tutorial for Lolita, or for, like, GRIK is very popular right now. I feel like it works for that, because we are very much going for, like, that downturned, like, PN look, or, you know, Decora, just throw a couple stickers on your face, whatever, honestly. It's just a very basic doll type makeup look. So there's that. So while this is there, I am going to start the nose contour, because that's what I get asked about the most. I know I've done like a million nose contour videos, but here's how I've been doing it lately. I will change up how I contour my nose on occasion, but I feel like this one is very flattering. Now, my nose is pretty long, and this does, like, make it look even longer, but also makes it, like, look really tiny. And then my nose is, like, we're gonna like Control Alt Delete all of this. So I'm gonna start by taking this line across here, because then like this part of my nose just no longer exists. It makes my nose like look a little bit shorter at the tip. And then we're gonna get the nostrils here, and then I'm gonna start like here, and I'm gonna drag those lines just straight down. So this is gonna kind of be like a, you know, like if you're doing GRWM, you have like just the white line straight down your nose, like you do that little strip. So this is inspired by that, because of course I do love Gal, and I also did that for many years. So instead of it being a full strip down my nose, I'm gonna like separate a little bit. So, but it's the same basic concept. I just wanted to let you know what inspired that. I'm gonna blend this out, and it is going to look insane. Once again, trust the process. It'll still look pretty insane when we're done, but it will look insane with a purpose. I also hope the lighting is okay. I have like 2 ring lights on me right now, and I'm in front of a window, but it's very like overcast and cloudy and disgusting outside. I've never filmed a video with this phone before, and I had a microphone, and I still have the microphone, but I don't have a way to connect it to this phone, because I only had a way to connect it to my iPhone that I no longer have. So this is gonna be like trial and error, and once I have this video edited, I'll be able to see what the issues are, and then we can work from there. But it's, I mean, let's face it, it's not like I've ever been known for my high quality content. My channel was never meant to be high quality content. My channel was supposed to be just a normal YouTube channel. Like, I kind of wanted it to be a throwback to what YouTube was when I was growing up. And that's why I've always just kind of kept it low budget, low quality, and done whatever the fuck I felt like. So I think I'm going to keep doing that, if it's cool with you. So I took a beauty blender, I blended that out, and then I'm going to take my little concealer sponge, maybe pick up some more foundation or concealer, whatever's left on my palette, and I'm going to take it down the sides here, which is going to make a difference, because, you know, I had so much product there, it, like, got drug all the way out here, but, like, see the difference? Yeah. You just want her to be so skinny. Put it down, all the way down the sides. And now this part, don't focus on it being too perfect either, because this is just step 1 of the nose contour, and we're gonna go back in with powders later. So this part is just kind of your rough draft, so it's not really gonna matter. I just think using a cream before the powder like really makes a difference to make it a lot more bold. Like, this is not going to be a natural looking nose contour. This is absolutely 100% a like 2020 e-girl nose contour. We're gonna have the ridiculously blinding white dot on her nose and all that good stuff. I'm an OTT bitch. I can't help it. I had to respond to a text message, and now I don't know where my camera was sitting. Okay, now that you look certifiably insane, we are moving on to setting the face. So I'm going to go back in and use whatever leftover concealer I have from carving out my nose to like kind of go back under my eyes and like fix all the creasing that has happened from not setting my face. And at this point the foundation's dried down a little bit so that I feel like I use less powder. Maybe not, who knows. And then for powder, y'all already know, because again, everybody uses it, but this is what I'm using, but I have it in this Wet n Wild container because it's just easier to get it from that. And I'm going to teach you how to properly apply setting powder. This again is something I've been screaming from the rooftops for many years, and yet nobody listens. So as soon as I find this brush, now I'm going to start with like a little brush, whatever brush you like to use. Get it nice and saturated, and then tap off all the excess, right? So you want your brush to be like visibly filled up. Now at this point I would normally like wear a robe or something to cover myself so I don't get it everywhere, but like whatever, I have nowhere to be. So take it and you're gonna pat. Don't sweep, don't smear, don't smudge. You are gonna fuck up all your concealer and everything. So take that and press. You want to press it in stipple it, whatever the kids are calling it these days. You're gonna press it into your skin. You don't have to layer it on super thick. Okay, maybe you don't have to use that much. You can use however much you want, but yeah, just, some people like to use a sponge, or like, I have like these little things. I don't really feel like that's necessary. Like, just the amount that I get in the brush is enough, and I feel like the brush kind of makes it less cakey, like, because I'm not baking necessarily, but if you press it, it's going to keep you from disturbing your foundation underneath. And then I'm going to go in with a bigger, fluffier brush for like the rest of my face, like all the bigger parts of my face, because I don't want to sit there with that teeny tiny little brush forever. I just mainly wanted to use a smaller brush to do the detail of like underneath my eye and like my nose and all that good stuff. And I just kind of do it until it feels right, like make sure my face doesn't feel tacky in any spots. Just make sure I get it really, really good. Forehead doesn't really matter that much because all my wigs have bangs and I have bangs, and I'm very pro bangs, so that doesn't really matter. Yeah, I feel like that's pretty good to go. And so now that you have patted all the powder into your skin, you can take your big fluffy brush and just sweep away the excess. So it's kind of like if you were baking, you know, you let it sit for a sec and then you sweep it away, except instead of letting it sit for an extended period of time, or just once the face is thoroughly set, and just go ahead and sweep away any excess. And then bam, my foundation is not moved. I have a little bit of creasing under my eye over here, but that's my own damn fault. Okay, so now once that's done, I'm gonna hit it with a little bit of setting spray. I actually don't have that much powder on me, so that's awesome. I'm trying to think of what blush I'm going to go in with today, because I'm going to do that next. I think I'm going to do this ColourPop one. New to You is what it's called. And it's kind of like a softer tone pink. This ColourPop one is also my go-to. It's from one of the Hello Kitty collabs they did. It's called Island Shine, and it's like more of a fluorescent kind of pink. It's meant to be a summer color, but I like it because it is very bam, and it looks so awesome against a white base. But I feel like to go with my vibe and my outfit today, I'm going to go with like a softer tone pink here. Take that, and when applying blush, I always do it like on the highest point of my cheekbones, and I kind of blend it up into like my hairline towards my temple, and I stop it right around like where my eye is, like that. Does that make sense? I love heavy blush. I love blush so much. I always use way too much of it. The blush is actually like a big part of the look too, though, I feel like. Of course, you can do whatever you want. You don't have to do everything I do. In fact, I would highly recommend against doing everything that I do, because that's how you end up being a 29-year-old teenage girl. And who wants that, honestly? Add some to my chin. Never sleep on the blush on the chin. Like, it's everything. And now I'm going to take it and blush the fuck out of my nose. Just like the whole nose, like right here. No rhyme or reason. Just slap that shit on there. And again, it's all going to come together in the end. I don't know what's happening here, but we're just going to ignore that, because we can make that go away. Now that I look like Queen Elizabeth, pull out another like fluffy brush. This one's kind of angled, and I'm gonna like soften that just a little bit. I'm not necessarily trying to undo all the pigment I just put on my face, as much as I'm trying to like soften the edges of the blush so that it doesn't look like I just like slapped it on there. Like, I want it to look a little blended out, a little softer. I truly look terrible. Okay. It's gonna look good at the end, I promise. Now that that's done, before we continue to the rest of the face, we can go back to the eyes. So I am going to be going into this Hello Kitty palette again. I'm gonna go back to this guy up in the corner. I'm gonna find whatever brush is available, and I'm gonna be applying that. Again, smile, you can find your tear bag. I'm gonna be applying that all over my tear bag here, or eye bag, or what's the Korean word? Egyo sal. I don't speak Korean, so I'm not really sure. I've been doing this for a very long time, and it was to kind of make your eyes just look like swollen and puffy, like you've been crying, or like, you know how like baby puppies have like those big swollen eyes, or like kittens. That's what it was like meant to imitate. But now people know it more so as like a Korean like K-pop makeup trend. But when I started doing this back in the day, I did it because it was like a J fashion trend, and I didn't know shit about Korean makeup. I barely knew about J fashion because I was still learning. But that's what it's meant to imitate. And also, we're gonna get into the drawing like underneath and all that good stuff. Just so you know, because this is also like a hot debate. Every single person has eye bags. Everybody does. Like, that's literally just where your eyeball is. That is the bottom of my eyeball, and there is a little bit of fat here, and everybody has it. Some people have it more so than others. Like, on some people it's really prominent. On me, it's usually pretty prominent. More so, like, when I wake up in the morning or after I have been crying, throughout the day. Once the light starts to leave my eyes, they kind of like dissipate a little bit. But yeah, everybody has it. It has nothing to do with your race or anything like that, literally whatsoever. So don't let people get you with that one, because it's no fucking race or ethnicity has the monopoly on human anatomy. Okay, that's silly, guys. You're being silly. Come on, look at you. You're so silly. Okay, now that looks fucking terrible, we are going to do the rest of the eyeliner. So I did that color all over the bag. Now we are going to do like this little droopy bit with the eyeliner. Some people like to fill that in white, so if you prefer for your little droop to be filled in white, then you can do that however you see fit. I think sticking with like a reddish or a brown tone looks a lot better, because it can kind of mimic that like red part inside of your eyeball. Does that make sense? It kind of makes it appear more like, you know, you have been crying, because that's what I want to look like. I want to look like your great-grandmother's haunted as fuck porcelain doll that cries and roams the halls at night. That's the look. Oh, I have this brown eyeliner. I could do a brown eyeliner. I'm just gonna stick with the black because we're already here. Why not? And once again, I have no genuine advice I can give you other than take your time, work slow, use eyeshadow, draw little dots to like map it out. But this part I can once again do quickly and easily because I've been doing this for a very, very long time. Longer than some people watching this video have been alive. So I kind of start, like, I wanted to start kind of like off center of my eyeball. So like right here, like right at that outside part of my eye. And then again, I'm just going to feel the natural shape of my eyeball, like my eyes right here. And I'm just going to drag it down and kind of connect those. Or if you want, you could just do a line down and you can leave open space right here. I think that would be more accurate if you're doing like this for like a GRWM style look. Or if you're doing gal, you'll kind of drag this all the way up and maybe do like an inner corner moment. So this all depends on you and your own personal style and the look you're going for. But this is just how I do mine every day. So I'm going to take it, start here, and just kind of swoop. Just give a little swoop. And then, before I go any farther, for me it's easier to work back and forth between each eye instead of like do one eye completely and then try to make this eye match. I just start with like a rough little line here, and then I'll make my rough little line here, and then I will work back and forth to get them even, because that makes more sense in my head. It's a lot easier for me to do it that way. Ah, fuck, that did nothing. Okay, make sure your pen is well saturated here. I try to store these upside down, so like this is the side I use the most, so when I put it away, I will put it in my caboodle standing upright so that all the product, like, so I don't have to deal with what I just did there. Does that make sense? Probably not. When I ask you if something makes sense, it's not because I think you're stupid, it's because I am just genuinely incoherent sometimes. Okay, so that's pretty good. So now we're just gonna work on connecting this and then thickening that line a little bit, which I can't do into the camera, unfortunately. I need my mirror that is below the camera, so my bad. Back to Megamind mode! And then how this part turns out genuinely depends on the day. Sometimes this line is like really thin, sometimes it ends up thicker. It's just whatever my hand and my eyeballs want to do that day. I think today it's looking like it's gonna be a little thick, because remember, the goal here is not to fool anyone. It's not to look natural, so. Alright, yeah, see, that's pretty good. Good and droopy. You can tell I spent years doing GRWM makeup, because it's like, ooh, okay. I love it though. And then if you want, sometimes if I'm feeling a little froggy, I will use this line as a guide and like do a little wing. That looks pretty cute sometimes. It's gonna add extra time to my makeup, and I'm already kind of in a hurry at this point because I have somewhere to be. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to leave it how it is, and that's good enough. But yeah, if you want to do the little wing, you can. I think it looks super cute. I'm just choosing not to today out of pure laziness and time restraint. So I have nowhere to be. Now that that's done, you can leave this as is, but I'm going to go a step further and deepen the color of this little droop here. I'm going to locate a brush, which I have a million of and can't seem to find a fucking one of them. And I'm going to go into this color down here in the corner. It's kind of like just a darker version of this one. It's still like very much that reddish orangey brown color. And I think it is a great color to mimic like the redness of your eyes if you've been, you know, crying, or like just the red inside part of your eyes. I think it's great for that. And it's not that much different of a color than like this orangey color down here, but it's just enough to make a subtle difference. I think it looks very cool, very porcelain doll like. And then if you want, you can even take a little bit in here in this inner corner of your eye and kind of get that same effect. Because I've seen people do like the dolly makeup, and like sometimes they'll even use like a red eyeliner in their waterline and stuff. That looks really cool. This is just a very versatile look, and you can do so much to like change it up. Like you can do your makeup the exact same way, but just by doing different colors and like different placements for things, it can really change the whole vibe. So that's why I enjoy doing it. So now that that's done, I'm going to go ahead and quickly move on to mascara, just so I give the mascara time to dry before I go in and put on my false lashes. Okay, so we're gonna let that mascara dry, and then in the meantime, we're gonna go back to the nose, because we didn't forget about her. She's the most important part of the look. The best, absolute best advice I can give you as a ghostly pale person: invest in a gray or taupe contour. So ColourPop has the taupe palette, the little square one. That's great for contour shades. Wet n Wild released these for Halloween, so I stocked up on them. This one is a pure gray. This one is a pure gray. This one is kind of like a brownish taupey gray color. It's a lot darker. I will use either one of these just depending on the day and my mood and what's closer. It really doesn't matter. But I like this one better for my nose, I think. And if you have pale skin, a gray contour is going to work wonders, because it's going to look more like a natural shadow and not a bronzer or a contour. Again, I'm not a natural bitch. I'm not trying to fool anybody, but it just looks more cohesive, especially since I'm doing a pure white base. It's going to look a little bit nicer. So I'm going to use this to contour when it comes to like my cheekbones and my jawline, which I'm not contouring my cheekbones today. I'm kind of letting my blush act as a contour, but I'm going to use this for my nose. And I'm just going to use a little fluffy brush here, and I'm just going to place it exactly where we placed the cream. We're going to do the exact same routine, except this time it's going to be with powder. And this time you do want to get a little bit more precise, so if like using a thinner or sharper brush helps you, by all means. I like this brush. This is, I think it's the Creme Shop. I'm not sure, but it's one of the Hello Kitty sets. I have a couple of them. Maybe this one will tell me. Yeah, the Creme Shop. Every time they release a set of Hello Kitty anything, I have to buy it. Starting from there, moving up, I'm gonna kind of pull this into my eyebrow here so that it mimics bone structure. And I just want the lines to be just as straight as I can get them. And all you really want is like that little strip down your nose. So see, this is where we're seeing the inspiration from a gal nose contour, because it's just that little strip down your nose there. But we're not done, so don't get too excited. Now I'm gonna take a fluffy brush. This is an e.l.f. one. This is my favorite for like blending the nose contour, and of course blend that out. And then I'm gonna blend less when it comes to the tip of my nose, because I want that to be like darker and like more obvious. Like I need that shadow there the most, because I'm trying to cut off this part of my nose, you know what I mean? See, you don't need a nose job. You just gotta learn how to contour your nose. You'll be fine. Make sure I really blend out up here in my eyebrows so that it does look more like a shadow and less like a contour. But this whole nose contour is going to be very harsh and obvious. It photographs really, really well. In person, I think it also looks really cute. But again, it's going to be very obvious you're wearing makeup. So now we're going to pause there. I'm going to go in with this NYX in Milk. I think we've all been using this for quite some time now. And I'm going to do a little nose stripe. Instead of going all the way down my nose, I'm going to stop like halfway. So just like that top part of my bridge. And then I'm going to do a little dot here on the tip. Just the tiniest little dot I can get. The tinier you get that little dot, the tinier your nose is gonna look. We're gonna blend that kind of upward into my forehead. And again, just keeping the lines as straight as they can be. Go back in, re-emphasize any part that you blended away a little bit too much. And then if you got a little heavy-handed, I just kind of sit here and go back and forth until I'm satisfied. But it's really not that difficult. So don't be intimidated. Okay, now that that's done, I'm gonna go in with this here, and it's just a pure white pressed powder. You can use whatever powder you like. And I'm gonna go down the sides with just the same brush I used to blend everything out. So all the way down the side of my nose, down the side of my nostrils here. And see how that just immediately, bam. Michael Jackson, who, bitch? It always looks better on this side than on this side. I don't know why that is. My face is just very lopsided. I've come to terms with it. I am a side sleeper, so that's just what happens. There's that. And so the final step to the nose contour, you can use whatever you like. I am using this Lottie eye foil. It's just whatever the white one is. And it's very sparkly and very foily and very OTT. So I think it's perfect for this. So I'm going to put that right there. And then again, that little dot on the tip of my nose. And there is our blinding e-girl nose highlight that we all know and love. And by know and love, I mean everybody fucking hates this look. But I love it. Look how cool that is. It's never enough. I want more. Oh, I fucked that up. But it looks so cool, especially in pictures. Like, my nose actually looks so small. And then you see we still have that little bit of redness from where we added the blush. Okay, so now that that's done, we are pretty much complete. I am going to prepare my lashes. Now, normally for every day, I would do like these little anime spiky lashes. If you literally just look up manga lashes, like on Amazon or AliExpress or whatever the fuck, they'll show up. They're just standard cosplay lashes. So those are cute, but I think today I'm gonna go in with something a little fluffier. So I'm gonna go in with these. Anytime I do lashes though, like regardless of whatever, they're always going to be kind of spiky. Like, I feel like as long as you do a spiky looking lash instead of like, you know, your curly mink fluffy ones, it's still going to give a similar effect. You just want the lashes to look very spiked and separated, you know? So I think we're going to go with this because it kind of fits the vibe of the dress better. I'm going to pick off all the glue from yesterday, and I am going to teach you how to put on false eyelashes in a way that doesn't make you want to blow your brains out. Okay, so step one, take lash and go ahead and apply your glue, whatever glue you want to use. And we are going to let that set for a sec because we want the glue to get nice and tacky. If you try to put the glue on it and immediately stick it to your eyeball, it's not going to stay. And that's where a lot of people go wrong. You need time to let the glue set for just a second and get tacky. Don't let it set too long because once this bitch dries clear, she is dry and you're just going to have to do it all again. So let that set for just a sec while it's setting. Get you some tweezers. I'm using little lash tweezers. You can use regular tweezers. Regular tweezers I think are harder to use at first if you're a beginner. These help a lot. So try to get you some of these. You can find them everywhere. They're not super expensive, but they will help you a ton if you're bad at putting on lashes. So while that glue is getting tacky for a sec, we're gonna chill and then I will show you the next step. Okay, so next, grab a mirror, make sure it's clean-ish, and you're gonna take the mirror and you're gonna hold it down. If you look down when you apply your lashes, you're gonna have a much better time. So hold it down underneath you, especially if you have like more hooded eyes. This hack is a lifesaver. Take your tweezers, look down, and now you're gonna line it up where you want on your eyeball. And then everybody's so focused on the inner and the outer corners because that's like the problem areas, right? But don't focus on those yet. So when you position it, look down and you want to fasten the center of the lash first. So don't worry about the corners. Fasten the center of that lash, and then from there, go ahead and adjust the outer corner, stick it where you need it. Come back to your inner corner, move it, stick it to where you need it. Maybe hold it an extra second on the inner corner because that does have a hard time sticking usually for most people. And then take your tweezers and just go ahead and squeeze it. Give it a good little squeeze. Clamp that bitch down. I fucked up the inner corner part. Hold on. And then bam. Super simple strip lash application because I know a lot of people struggle. I'm gonna do this one quick to show you like how fast I can do it without talking. See, bam, that took every bit of 10 seconds. And a big part of that is not only the licking down, but it's really just waiting for the glue to get tacky. I'm gonna go back to finishing my under eye here. Sometimes I'll do like faux freckles and stuff, it just depends. I'm not gonna do that today, but I will show you a nice little hack. If you get yourself a freckle pen, one that's like nice and natural, if you do your eye bags with that freckle pen, you're gonna, look at that, you're gonna get a nice natural line. But I'm not a nice natural bitch, so this is what I'm going to do. I do that to like start, so I know where my line is. So I'm going to go back into this same contour. Again, sometimes I'll do the gray one. It just depends on what I'm feeling. I'm going to stick with this. And I do draw that line super dark because my nose contour is super dark. And this whole makeup look is supposed to look very over the top and cartoonish. I don't know how many more times I can say that. And I just use as thin and flat of a brush as possible for this. If you go back in with a fluffier brush to like buff it out a little bit, it'll soften that line so the line's not quite so harsh. Because I don't necessarily want the line to be overly harsh. I just want it to be very dark and deep and prominent. And I want it to be in keeping with the rest of my makeup. This whole makeup look is very extreme, right? So I don't drag it very far out. I kind of stop it right here because we did use our eye bag to measure where the eyeliner is going to end. So I don't want to connect it up into the eyeliner. I want to stop it right about there. I'm going to go back in with the same brush I used to contour my nose, and I'm going to kind of soften this a little bit. Now that that's done, I'm going to go in with a concealer brush. I'm going to go into my white pressed powder here, and I'm going to kind of like go underneath that line and carve it out just a little bit. Now I'm going to go back in with that same sparkly shit I used on my nose, and I'm going to apply that right on the eye bag here. And I like this because where it is like foily and sparkly, it kind of gives like a little bit of a tear effect, doesn't it? Like you could even drag it down a little bit and like do a little, have a little glitter tear moment if you wanted. And of course we can still see that like reddish orangey tone underneath. And now by this point my eyelashes are good and dry, so I'm going to go in with my lash curler, and then I can go in, or maybe I can't because I can't find it. I'm gonna go back in with my eyeliner pencil, and now I'm going to do that top waterline that we talked about earlier. Just a little bit, just so like you don't have all this fleshy bit underneath this big black ring around my eye, because that looks a little silly sometimes. Okay, so we are almost done here. Just a couple more steps. I'm going to go in and do some bottom lashes. Again, these come out different every day depending on what my hand wants to do, I guess. But I always do about 3 or 4 on each side. So I'm going to start like right here, and then again going over to this eye because I think it's easier to work back and forth. Makes it easier to get the same placement on each side. I'm sorry this is like the worst angle and there's nothing I can do about it. I feel like just the 3 on each side looks fine right now, but I am going to go in and do one right there. Maybe pull this line out just a little bit. This is the step that will make you realize how uneven your face and your eyeliner is. Instead of like doing a highlight, I've just been using this glitter lately. This is LA Colors Fairy Dust. They had it out with all the Halloween stuff, and I like it. It's very sparkly and very fun, and I just love glitter, so I just add that to my cheeks. I'm going to do my lips, and then we can do wig and all that good stuff, and I'll come back and I'll talk to you guys some more, and that'll be a wrap. Do one final blast of setting spray. Way too much of it. It makes a difference, trust me. Now, it kills me to have like no mascara on my bottom line, so I'm going to do a little bit. Of course, you don't want to do it in the droop because that would just look weird. But I am going to focus it on the inside lashes here. And I also feel like it really helps blend this line because we're going from a very harsh black line into our natural lash line here. That's why a lot of people prefer a brown eyeliner for this part. It does look a little bit more natural. I did black because like it was already there. And then I just kind of take the wand, and I do try to, sometimes I'll take tweezers and get really intricate and make these lashes super like spiky and like chunky to kind of imitate the lashes I drew on. I'm not that worried about it today, so I'm just going to kind of throw it in there, but see how it kind of gives that little bit of something there to help blend that, so that you don't just have like this big, thick, harsh line that just ends. It kind of gives you a little bit of a transition there. Take my lip ring out. Hopefully I don't forget to put it back in. All my piercings are gone. I hate my life. I'm gonna use this little Creme Shop stamp to give myself like a couple fun little hearts here just because they're cute. And now this part I am very excited to share with you guys because I have spent years trying to master this type of lip and I finally figured it out. I'm going to start with this water tint here. This is just like a pink color and I'm going to focus it mainly on the center of my lip and then I'm going to draw like a little bit of an overline here on my Cupid's bow and then maybe a little bit of an underline here on my bottom lip, so like very doll like right now, right? And blend that out a little. It's gonna look a little silly at first, that's okay. Okay, now that that's done, I'm gonna go in and take like any red tint or liquid lipstick, whatever you have, and we're gonna put this like so in the center that it's basically on the inside of our mouth, right? And then again doing the same thing, just blending it outward and upward, or I guess downward on your bottom lip, whatever. Next, I'm gonna go in with my white powder once again, or you know, you can use concealer, whatever you like using on your lips. I feel like using powders and like eyeshadows and stuff on your lips seems like weird in concept, but when you actually do it, it's perfect because it doesn't budge. I don't know how, but it does not move. And I'm going to take that on the outer corners of my mouth here. Now see, naturally my mouth like kind of extends a little bit past like where my lip line ends, which I love. I feel like it gives me a very cat-like appearance. And then taking the brush I contoured with earlier, I'm going to hit the top of my lip a little bit and the bottom. Lip contouring can do things for you that like lip liner never could. See how big of a difference that made? I'm gonna go back in with that red and same thing, that gradient's going right in the center of my lips. And then you can even take like a little mini beauty blender like this and it helps a lot. And then I'm gonna go back and this palette has like this red color. I'm gonna use that to kind of deepen it. See, very doll-like, very cute. And then to really emphasize the lines at my mouth, I'm gonna go in with like this flat brush I used for my eye bags. I'm gonna go into that gray that I showed you earlier. I'm really just gonna kind of now, if you don't have like lines in your mouth like that, you can actually like draw them, extend them out. A lot of people do that. It looks really cute. I don't really do that as much as I'm like emphasizing what I already have there, because every time I try to like extend the line more, I fuck it up somehow. I'm gonna do that and blend it out. Dude, that made such a difference. I didn't actually draw the line. I just like filled in that part of my mouth. Does that make sense? I'm gonna go in with this lip gloss that apparently has been discontinued and I'll never get to buy again. And I'm just gonna kind of dab that just in the center there. I'm not really taking it all over my lips. And then if you're like me and enough is never enough, go back in with the white powder, hit that one more time on the outside of the lips there. And there you are. I feel like that's such a good gradient lip. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but I have a whole lot of makeup on my face, so I guess I'm good. Which looks insane right now, but once I have the wig on, it's all gonna come together. So I'm going to put on my wig and do all that, and then I will be right back. I was trying to take pictures for the thumbnail, and I knew something was off, and it's because I totally forgot to like contour my jawline. So I just took my gray and just like a fluffy angled brush and I literally just like, you know what I mean? It's for a little something. And it's not really noticeable in person, but it is in pictures. And again, that gray contour is a lifesaver because it creates such a natural shadow. This wig I styled yesterday, but it still looks pretty good, so I just left it. Like, it already fit the vibe of the outfit and everything. Full fit, minus shoes. Super cute. For shoes, I will be wearing the coveted Demonia 311s. I have the pink ones, so they're actually not. Hello? My house is haunted, don't worry about it. I don't actually have Demonias, they're knockoffs, but ow, it works just as well. But this is the final look. I still look insane, but like, with a purpose, I guess. It's always really fun getting everyone's reaction when they see me, because they don't know what the fuck they're looking at. I also don't know what the fuck I'm looking at. Sorry this video is gonna be like 12 miles long. Sorry about that, but I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope I was able to teach you something, and I hope I can come up with more ideas to just do videos in general, because I do miss YouTube. And I miss, you know, existing. I didn't really mean to disappear for so long. It just kind of happened. Like, I was taking a short break, and then the next thing I know, it's been like 3 years, and I was like, oh, fuck. I was surprised to find out I still have any subscribers. So, shout out to you guys for sticking with me through the whole thing, and being supportive of whatever the fuck this is. And hopefully we can keep on doing it. And who knows, maybe 2025 is the year I finally get monetized. It won't be. Man, how do you even end a video? It's been so long. Alright, I think that's it. I will yap at you some other time, I guess. If you like this video, or me, or my face, be sure to give it a thumbs up, maybe subscribe if you want. I'm not going to tell you what to do. If you hated this video, make sure you leave a death threat in the comments so that I can read it and cry myself to sleep. And with all that being said, oh god, I haven't said it so long! I love you, have fun, be safe, look both ways before you cross the street, and I will see you when I see you. Bye!